All right, so Freedom Park will today host the commemoration of the Battle of Cuito Cuanavale. The battle was an important event in the Angolan Civil War and the South African Border War. It was a turning point in the Southern African region as it contributed to the independence of Namibia. For more on this now, we cross live to SABC News International editor Sophie Mokoena, who is in attendance there. Ms. Sophie, a very good morning to you. Thanks indeed for your time. So this commemoration comes at a time when Namibia has just celebrated independence and South Africa will be going to elections. Can you remind us of this commemoration in the history of the frontline states?
Quite an important battle that led to the liberation of Namibia and later, of course, South Africa. As you know, that the then apartheid regime used to cross borders and attack countries, neighboring countries with the then South Africa, where you had liberation organizations, members of those organizations who fled South Africa, who were operating in neighboring countries such as Angola particularly, and also Mozambique. And therefore, at the point, the frontline states took a decision to work together to try and liberate the southern region. And during those battles, there was this battle, and a country like Cuba contributed a lot in terms of assisting the southern region to be free. And therefore today it is a commemoration of that battle. And as you pointed out, it comes at a time when Namibia has just celebrated its independence, and also the country will be going to elections. So it's quite important for Namibia to reflect, but also South Africa. We know, as you know, today many political parties are out there campaigning. It is because of such incidents that there was pressure to the demands in terms of the negotiations. But of course, with South Africa going to elections, this is the time to remember where we come from as a country, perhaps, so that we know exactly where we're supposed to go as we look back at what the oppressed then wanted and whether they have achieved what they wanted. And it comes at a time where countries such as Cuba are experiencing challenges of embargo from powerful countries such as the United States of America. And I can see a number of representatives from Cuba came out and to support this commemoration, because it is the time to reflect for those countries who have relationships. And we expect the High Commissioner of Namibia to speak, the Ambassador of Angola, Ambassador of Cuba, the South African Communist Party, and of course the Gauteng Premier Panyaza Sophie on behalf of the ANC in particular, and also some who were involved in these battles, so those activists who were on the front line of the battle.
Now, this is all coming at a time, Ms. Sophie, of much global tension with the war in Ukraine. I mean, Israel's bombardment, and what we saw last night was a shocking terror attack in Russia. Are we likely to hear from these delegates from these various countries? Are they likely to touch on some of these key issues that are taking place around the world?
Particularly the Russia matter, as you know that Russia is a friend to these countries. I expect the ambassadors to touch on these issues. And when you look at the guest speaker, it is a Dean of Diplomatic Corps from Africa and the representative from the Central African Republic. You know that Russia is currently supporting the Central Republic, and therefore I think they will touch on that. I expect the SACP to touch on that, and other speakers to touch on the recent attack in Moscow, where we saw many people dying. And this morning we are told that Russia is now hunting those who attacked and killed people in Moscow. I think this is going to be a critical issue. We also expect them to touch on the situation in Palestine, as you know that these countries are also supporting the struggle of the Palestinians. So the global issues are going to dominate what people who are going to speak here are going to say. And therefore, I think that will be a very important issue to monitor. We would also speak to different people here to get their reaction, and particularly those who are members of the MK who are here, perhaps to check the divisions right now within the alliance and the governing party, looking at the MK party that is going to contest elections and stand against the ANC. So it comes at a very crucial time where you have national issues within the alliance and those who were together in the struggle, but also the global issues.
Sophie Mokoena, thank you very much indeed. Live to us from Freedom Park, which is hosting the commemoration of the Battle of Cuito Cuanavale today. Thank you very much indeed for that.
Tomorrow.